Well, welcome to No Place Like Home, coming to you on Pinellas County Connection TV. This program is presented to you as an opportunity to hear information that can help you fulfill the dream of owning your very own home. We also share information about upcoming special events and programs to help you enjoy the good life in Pinellas County. The sponsor of the program is the Housing Finance Authority of Pinellas County, which offers the First-Time Homebuyers Program. I'm Carmen Lemberg, alongside Julian Hills, your host for today's show. Good morning, Julian. How are you today?
Oh, even though it's February, I'm still writing 2017 on my checks.
I'm having that same problem. I'm good for like the first 2 days, and then after that, I revert back to the old year.
It's pretty sad that I'm still writing checks, too, in 2018. But that's another story for another time, or maybe not, because today we're talking about technology.
Exactly.
And donating computers for charity, and give you information so you can be part of this incredible program. Before we begin our discussion, Carmen, I know you have a message from our sponsor, the Housing Finance Authority.
I do. Thanks, Julian. The Housing Finance Authority of Pinellas County is offering the First-Time Home Buyers Program, your key to home ownership, helping people in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk counties make their dreams of home ownership a reality. The First-Time Home Buyers Program is for individuals who have never owned a home, have not owned a home in the last 3 years, or veterans. The HFA, working through a specialized group of lenders, offers a low rate on its 30-year fixed mortgage and can help with down payment and closing costs as well. To get your key to home ownership, visit our website, which is www.pinellascounty.org/H as in housing, F as in finance, A as in authority. For more information or comments about the show, you can give us a call at 727-223-6419. Julian?
It's my pleasure to introduce our guest, Josh Holcomb, Director of Operations with IG Tech 365. Josh started his career as an electronics technician on Los Angeles-class submarines in the U.S. Navy. After his time in the Navy, he spent 11 years in operations and sales management. During this time, Josh received a Bachelor of Science with a double major in Information Systems and Cybersecurity with honors. Currently, Josh is using his operational and technical skills to provide leadership to the team of IT professionals at IG Tech 365. Welcome, Josh. Thanks for taking time to speak with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about IG Tech 365 and what you do?
Yeah, we are actually basically like a complete outsourced IT company. We specialize in small businesses, anywhere from 1 to up to 500 users. And for those businesses that are out there that do not necessarily have the $60,000 to $120,000 a year to pay for just one IT guy, I can provide an entire staff that is remote, so you don't have to house them, you don't have to put an office in front of them, and it's at probably, I would say on average, up to 95% less per year than hiring just one IT guy, and you get an entire staff. That sounds pretty good, right?
Wow. I'll have to keep that in mind when I start my own business.
There you go. So last summer, you and I had met, and we were talking about your company, and you had told me about how IG Tech 365 likes to give back to the community. Give us an idea about some of the companies you guys get involved with and ways that you give back.
Sure. Well, what we've done is, we don't have a ton of money to spend, but what we do have is we do have time and expertise. So we thought, we've partnered with a couple different companies like Nutrition Solutions, which does pre-prepared meals, right? And they were giving out food to some of the homeless, and that really inspired me. Chris Cavallini is the owner over there, and we've had some pretty detailed conversations about, how giving back really helps not only the business, and the people that are in your business, but it helps the community. And, we decided that what we could do is we could take computers in, right? So we take any computer that you want to bring down. We try to keep it within 7 years so that it's relevant to the people that we're going to be giving it to. And we wipe everything completely clean off of the computer. And then we reload an operating system on there and some sort of productivity software. So very similar to like a Microsoft Office, like the Word, PowerPoint, Excel. We use a free version called OpenOffice. And then we get it out to different charities or just people in need. we have a website. You go there, click on donations. You can actually fill out a form and submit if you are in need, and we'll put you on a list. And as you come up, we'll get some computers out to you as they become available.
I was just going to ask one more quick question. And there's your staff also. I think I saw on your website they get involved with other charities. They donate their time and stuff.
Yeah, we've worked with charities like Metropolitan Ministries every year. We go out, we volunteer a day at Metropolitan Ministries. We just completed that. And then we've helped Tampa Crossroads, which specializes in veterans, with veterans and trying to help them get back on their feet. AMVETS, we just donated a laptop to. In addition to, they have a minister there that is heading up their food program, their food drive, and they have to record data on an Excel spreadsheet, right? Well, she was having to take all those pieces of paper home and put it onto her personal computer at home. Well, when we found out about this through one of the workers that's at our office, I was like, you know what? Why don't we just get her a computer? She can enter everything right there on the spot and not have to take the work home with her in addition to. Let's make it as easy as we can for people that are out there trying to help our veterans. And then we've also helped just recently, actually, Carmen introduced us to Ready for Life Pinellas. And we went over there with Kathy Mize, and we donated 4 of the Housing Finance Authority's laptops to them. We refurbished them, got everything wiped out, and Carmen also donated some Microsoft Office platform for them, so they have actual Word, PowerPoint, Excel, all of the Office suite on those computers. And we took a couple computers back in addition to that, and we did the same thing with their computers that they were having trouble with. The one thing that I did find very interesting about Ready for Life is they're trying to help those aging out kids for the foster care program, right?
Yes.
So, and not everybody has it as good as everybody else, but I can tell you that they're trying to bring some sort of normalcy to kids that are coming off the street that are homeless. 25% is the figure that they gave me of kids that are in their program that are currently homeless.
Wow.
Yeah, that's sad, right? So they put in a shower and a washer and dryer and a locker, right? So that when these kids come in, they're in that kind of defensive fight or flight mode, coming off the streets, right? So when we got there, the dryer was just sitting there kind of backwards. I'm like, hey, what's going on with the dryer? And she told me a pretty touching story. And she said, yeah, well, we didn't have the funds to get the dryer cable, so that's what we're waiting on. But it would be nice to let them take a shower and wash their clothes, right? Make them feel normal again and kind of break down some of those barriers so that we can get through to them. Well, when I went to go drop off the 3 additional laptops that they had given us to kind of refurbish for them, went ahead and grabbed a dryer cord, went and hooked it up so that some of those kids can start getting that normalcy back.
Oh, that's so cool.
And for me, it's not about the money. It's about what I can do to help a kid that's in need because they're our future, right? My 14-year-old daughter, I can't imagine how I would feel if she was in that position. So I want to help every single one of them that I can. So those are who we've worked with so far. I mean, there's probably other ones that I'm forgetting. I'm sorry. But those are the main ones that we've helped probably within the last 6 months that we've been involved in. And then we're going to move forward into 2018 with Ready for Life. We're going to really focus on them and try to get down there to actually do some teaching for how to build resumes, what employers are looking for, some basic computer skills so that they can get through an Excel spreadsheet or maybe write that resume, those kind of things.
I'm curious to know, just getting back a little bit to the origins of the program. I mean, in my entire life of hearing stories on television and just seeing things in my real life, I've never even heard of anyone just donating computers really and giving them to people and giving them access to this technology. How did you make the connection to do that?
We were taking our old computers, and one of our clients was eCycle Florida, okay, which is a R2 certified recycling center for computer equipment. So when we would have an old machine, we would take it down there and have them recycle it. Well, as we started thinking about it, and I met Chris Cavallini, and we started having some conversations, and I started thinking, between myself and Aaron, the CEO, we wanted to do something to give back. And we did the Metropolitan Ministries for the first year with our team, and we were like, we could do much more, right? So during that whole kind of process, this metamorphosis of what can we do, and we brought our whole company in. We sat around the conference room table and we hashed out what can we do to help our community. And we came up with, well, if we can get people to donate some computers, maybe that would work, right? So then we started putting feelers out. Hey, anybody got any computers? Well, one of the girls that works for us, her church had 5 or 6 computers, and they wanted to recycle them. I was like, well, maybe we could take those in, refurbish them, and put them back out in the community. And that's kind of how that whole thing started, was all based on a church had some computers available. We were thinking, what can we do? And it just kind of all came together, because the one thing that, like I said, we don't have a ton of money, but we have time, right? And I'm willing to sacrifice that time, anything that we can do to help, because somebody else has got to be out there thinking the same thing and doing that for someone else, and the more that we help each other, I want to kind of get back to my roots, and that's, treat others as you would want to be treated, right?
Oh, I love it. I think
I
it's,
do too.
and some people have money and don't have time. I don't have money, so I have time, so I totally I understand where you're coming from.
And with your background there in the technology, it just is such a perfect fit. And everybody knows that computers are such a part of everybody's lives, but they are so out of reach for so many.
So I want to know more about how you guys are reaching out to people and getting donations right now. How is that working out?
Okay, so we got the church donations. We've gotten a couple other ones, but we're really struggling to try to find more. But what's really interesting and we've made a web presence. So on our website, we've actually included that in our main menu bar is donate computers. So people can click on it, they can get the information, they can see what we're looking for, what we're not looking for, because we can't take printers and CRT monitors and that kind of thing, just because the disposal is going to cost money for us to do it. So, if you need to dispose of that, take it to a e-cycle, for example. But in a lot of cases, you're going to need to find a dump, something like that, to take those kind of things too. But, the interesting thing is trying to find charities that actually want computers or want to accept these donations. And I thought that, hey, I'm giving something out for free, and if it's free, it's for me, because that's how I live, right? But that's not the case. In a lot of cases, it's fighting through the bureaucracy, trying to get to someone that is willing to accept it. And maybe you can't get in touch with them,
Wow.
So when we found Ready for Life, thanks to Carmen, they were very responsive. They have tons of kids, 400 plus kids in that one facility. So we have a steady stream of need now. Now we need to develop a stream of computers coming in order to get them out.
Well, everybody seems to upgrade every few years. You just have to. Technology is moving so fast. You're out of date. There's got to be people out there that we can figure out a way to connect with that can help. It just seems, everybody is always updating computers, whether it's, individuals, companies, anything. Small companies like us, I think, would be really ideal if we could find them and get the word out to them, because they hold on as long as they can, but nobody holds on to a computer for 7 years anymore.
Yep.
No.
Industry standard is anywhere from 4 to 5 years maximum. 5 is really pushing it. In a standard office use. Home use, you're probably closer to that 5 to 7, and if you're looking at Mac computers, you're probably 7 to 10 years before end of life, complete end of life.
Yeah, when the
But
smoke comes out of it.
yeah, you know when it's degrading. Things start running slower, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So how are you so far getting the word out, or has it just been sort of happy coincidences that people are like, hey,
Put it out on Facebook. We're boosting posts on Facebook in order to reach more people. Actually, that was one of the ones that we just did. That's actually gained quite a bit of traction.
Good.
But that and the website and talking to people, I'm a member of Tampa Chamber, Wesley Chapel Chamber of Commerce. So anytime we can, the Wesley Chapel Chamber of Commerce is actually a donation location so that people can come drop off. And hopefully our locations that will actually take these computers are actually talking to their people as well, or customers, and saying, hey, and trying to spread the word.
And what you talked about on your website, you have a list of sorts of things you're looking for. And tell us what kind of computers and things that you're looking for and not looking for.
Okay, so general requirements, technology needs to be less than 7 years old. If it does have a Windows operating system, that's even better. Okay. Windows operating systems will keep it unanimous because everybody knows Windows, right? If not, no big deal. When we wipe it, we'll reload like an Ubuntu, which is a freeware product, like a Linux type of operating system. Looks very similar look and feel to a Microsoft system. It needs to power on, so it's got to work, right?
It's always important.
I think that would help.
No consumables, so like hazardous materials, toners, liquids, that kind of thing. We don't want that. Laptops, screen needs to come on and work. Keyboard and mouse need to be operable, and the power adapter needs to be supplied. Desktops, make sure they're in reasonable condition. We don't care if they're pretty. We don't care if they've got 125 stickers on them. We'll clean them off. No big deal. But if you do have the mouse, keyboard, cables, that's fine. Or if you just have mouse, keyboard, and cables and you want to go drop those off because you got some new ones, because something, maybe your favorite sports team, you got a new mouse with your sports team on it, whatever the case may be, if you want to drop those off, that's great too. Monitors. You have a new monitor that you just bought, or maybe you're using your TV now and you've got a monitor just sitting in the closet like I do at home right now. That's going to come down to the office and get donated. But we need to make sure that they're not CRT monitors. Okay, so basically what I mean by that is if you have a flat panel TV, it'll look very similar to it. So less than 3 to 4 inches thick, right? So if it's a foot thick, you've got a CRT monitor. We can't use it, right? But tablets, screen isn't cracked, and the touch control actually works. Windows, Mac, and Android, and also cell phones. We'll dispose of those for you. We're not going to reuse them. We're not going to reprovision them, but we'll get them down to e-cycle. So you can bring recyclables to these technology recyclables to any of our locations for pickup, and we'll kind of weed through it. And if we can use some of the parts on one person's machine on another person's machine to make it work or make it better, we will. We take $0 out of this. I want to be very, very clear when I say that this is not a profit center for us. We don't operate like that. We take zero proceeds. If we have a computer, we're not going to go throw it on eBay and sell it. That's absolutely, it's against it's unethical. And my integrity just won't let us go down that road. They will literally, if people don't want them, they will sit on my shelf until they are just after 7 years, and then I'll recycle them. Okay, but we have absolutely no skin in the game other than doing good for the community.
And you mentioned that you do wipe the memory, so it's a total wipe. No chance that any of the data that's on there is going to be used or anything like that.
That is true. We use a program a software program called DBAN, or Derek's Boot and Nuke, and it meets the standards of the DoD for wiping computer memory.
Okay, because I know I have this 2 laptops at home that I used to use for my business.
And now you're going to be donating them. Awesome.
Well, I'm not sure how old they are, so I got to look at them. They both have Windows on them, but I can't remember how old they are. I'm afraid they might be past the 7-year mark, but if they're not, I just would want to make sure that all of that data, because it still had data from my business on there, is gone.
Yes. And here's the reason we said 7 years. Okay, because about 7 years, the newer operating systems requirements are higher than they were 7 years ago. So a brand new state-of-the-art computer 7 years ago may be just able to just run the operating system and nothing else. So we don't want to give a computer out that's useless to someone, right? So that's why we give that 7-year mark.
Yeah.
Is it's not because the computer's bad, because once we wipe everything and put a new operating system on it, if we reloaded that same operating system that was on there to begin with, it would probably work just fine.
But you need something current, because that's what everybody
Right.
has.
So and security is pretty important to me, cybersecurity,
Everybody.
right? So, Windows 10 is hands down the most secure system. I mean, it gives you a free antivirus program on it. Nobody ever uses it. They think, I'll just go buy Norton. Well, let me tell you something. Between the Windows Firewall and Windows Defender, as far as an antivirus program, it's actually for home use, perfectly adequate. You can go more, but you have the tools within Windows 10 to protect yourself.
That's what matters.
Good to
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I was also curious. So you seem to have found a little bit of traction in providing these computers for, you said kids in foster care and things like that. Do you know any other groups who are particularly possibly in need, or have you identified any other, or right now are these?
Those are the ones that we've identified at this point. So this is kind of what we have done so far is we're building that list as we're getting comments come in from the website. Hey, we need a computer, that kind of thing. I start building that list, and then I start giving them out. And once we get to a point where I don't have anybody to give out, I get on the phone and I start calling people, start calling local charities and say, hey, do you have a need? And that's where earlier when I said it's kind of hard to find people that are willing to take it, it's because I've literally sat on the phone for probably 4 hours straight calling people out of the phone book, any charity that's out there, trying to get in touch with someone that's willing to take it. And it's, let me transfer you to this person. And it's not that they're being mean or anything like that. They're just trying to get me to the person that would deal with it. It just so happens that maybe they're not there when I'm calling.
Gotcha.
Well, that, and I think that sometimes, I know I ran into this before, people these days truly don't believe when you say, I want to give, I want to help. When I worked for the county, we actually had a grant program of $20,000 where we would go into your home if you fit our criteria, and we would fix up to $20,000 worth of things. We had a list of things we would fix. And people were like, well, I don't want to lean on my house. No, I'm not going to lean your house. This is a grant. We want to help you. It was mostly for seniors.
Right.
And I get their kids calling me, you're trying to take grandma's house. No, I'm not trying to take grandma's house. Because it's like, free. Government doesn't get stuff free. We do. And so I think people in this day and age are thinking there's a string somewhere, I'm missing it. And I think a little part of them just can't believe somebody would really want to help.
We walked into a retirement home, myself and Aaron, my CEO, over by his house. And, initially we were going in there and we were thinking, okay, well, maybe this would be a great place to talk to somebody about doing their IT work. Well, as we get in there and we start talking to the front desk person, and we're just kind of shooting the breeze. And I started thinking, I was like, hey, so how many of your seniors here use a computer on a regular basis? And the comment was, well, not a lot. Most of them don't know how to use a computer. So I asked, I'm like, well, if I could teach them how to use a computer, how many do you think would be interested? And she was like, well, I don't know. I think you should probably start with phones first. Once they learn how to use the touchscreen phones and they're not using the flip phones. So I've tried to actively engage with them. But once again, it's fighting through that bureaucracy to give something for free. I'm going to give you information. You know, I'm going to teach your people how to use the computer so they can log onto Facebook and they can talk to their kids in whatever state that they're in, because, you know, we are a retirement state for the most part.
Yep.
And communication is key. And, you know, a lot of times with the way that we have become busier and busier with our daily lives, we kind of, you know, and I've been guilty of this, we kind of lose touch with our family, especially if they're not local to
Exactly.
us. So it's very important. And that's one of the reasons that these kids at Ready for Life are so important. What if they could get in touch with their parents? What if they don't know who they are, but they could find them? How do they do that if they don't have a computer? If you have a computer, almost anything is obtainable,
Exactly.
right? So
That's so true.
And that's one of the reasons why I asked that question, because I'm sure there's people who may not have them and don't think they have the need for them, or just don't think they can get one. And hearing something like this can literally change your life. I mean, I'm not really a graphic designer or anything like that, but I still use my computer for a lot of things.
For everything.
Yeah, almost everything. As a matter of fact, it's so much that I have to get the battery replaced because of.
I totally get that.
So,
So tell me this. What's the best way for people to contact you?
okay, so we have a couple different ways to contact us. You can either go to our website. Website is www.igtech365.com. You can give us a call at 866-365-7798, or you can just email us at info@igtech365.com.
And that's good for people who may see this and would need computers, and as well for want to donate computers.
Either one. If you need a computer, we'll put you on the list, and we will get to you as fast as we can possibly get to you. And if you want to donate, please give us a shout, and we have a map. It's got all the locations, addresses of all of our donation sites. Oh. So we are down by the airport. Actually, at the end of the runway at Modern Enterprise Solutions and eCycle, same company. You can drop off computers there. Nutrition Solutions is more towards like the Ybor area, south. I guess it would be southern Tampa. Then you can drop off at our location, IG Tech Ortholetistics, which is up in Wesley Chapel, and then the Wesley Chapel Chamber of Commerce, which actually just moved their building from Wesley Chapel. Now they're in Lutz. So all that information is up to date on the website. So you could actually just go in there. You don't even have to call. Just go ahead and drop off the computers. Just let them know you're dropping them off for IG Tech for the donation program, and they'll give us a call, and we'll come pick them up.
Well, I hope somebody who sees this, who either needs a computer or has a computer or tablet or laptop or whatever that they want to give away, sees this and gets in touch with you, because I'm really impressed by this program.
And if a company has, say, 7 or 8 computers they want to donate, didn't I see something on your website that
Yes.
you would make arrangements to pick them up?
Anything 10 or more, we'll come get them.
Okay.
Just let us know. If you give us a call, I will, normally we'll probably structure it to where we're going to make a run and try to get multiple locations. And if we need to send a box truck because you have that many computers you want to donate,
Which would be
right
awesome.
on. I am all over it. If not, I drive a little car, but I'll bring my wife's truck in. And we'll load up the back and get them back to the office and get them reprovisioned and out to the community.
If you have them, Josh will come.
Yes.
Well, we only have a couple moments left to wrap up, so I'd like to thank you again, Josh Holcomb with IG Tech 365, for joining us today. And on behalf of Pinellas County Communications Department, we look forward to having you join us next month. If you missed any part of the show or would like to view past shows, check out our website, catch us on YouTube. I'm Julian Hills.
I'm Carmen Lemberg.
Thanks for joining us, and remember to make it a great day.